Hello my friends and welcome back to another episode of Traumatizing Fish. You might remember some time ago I devoured an entire kelp forest, and a lot of you said, could you try to do that same thing with the bulb zone? Well, you can't eat the slices of the bulbs, but you can certainly cut them down, and today we're gonna be destroying the entirety of the bulb zone. Now, first things first, this time we're doing it in creative, and the reason that's happening is because the bulb zone is much bigger than any kelp forest in the game. Here you can see me having a little swim around, and the thing is, this extends far over multiple, underwater mountains, into multiple underwater valleys, caves, and all around the front of the Aurora. It is freaking massive. Now, when it comes to the bushes themselves, they essentially divide into 4 categories. The pygmy bush, the common bush, a large bush, and then the biggest bad boys, of which you can see only a few in the entire area. Now, depending on their size, they take a different amount of slices to cut down. Now, even the smallest pygmy bush takes at least 3 slices with the heat blade to cut down. Keep this in mind because it will become important later, since it will be completely unsustainable. But I basically just started slicing. I figured first I would work in front of the Aurora and try to sort of clear out the strands around there, just to get a gauge of how fast this would be going. Here you can see me working on cutting down one of the large bushes. These take a considerably higher amount of slices, even though these are still nothing compared to the colossal big boys. I continued slicing around, and this was taking a while, and as I did all of this, it was slowly dawning on me how freaking long this would take. But at this point, I was still oblivious to just how big the bulb zone is. I thought it was essentially just this plateau up top. This would change soon. As you can see, I was still working around the front of the Aurora. You can also see that my inventory is a little full. There might be 1 or 2 notifications up there. In fact, this activity was so boring and tedious that watching that inventory full counter was basically the only source of entertainment I had. So I sort of made it a goal to see what happens at 999. At this point, the Aurora decided to explode too. That's how long I'd been slicing bushes here. And then eventually it did explode, but even that couldn't really stop me from doing my job as a gardener of this area. All in a day's work, all in a day's work. Here you get a bit of an overview of how much I've sliced down already. And as you can see, here I decided to take the camera up a little bit and just have a slight fly around of the area, because what I've done so far already took a fair amount of time, around 40 minutes, and this was the point when I realized the bulb zone is massive. And it's not even just that. I realized there's an entire back section here with massive cliffs which are also completely covered in bulb bushes. At this point I realized that to do this way, it would take way too long. Realistically, it would probably take me longer than the death run. So at this point we're going to be turning on the Instagib command. This basically just makes it so that I slice down each bush with a single slice. Now in theory, this would all still be possible the normal way as well. It will only take hours in single digits as opposed to, like 4 or 5 times that. Here you can see I've managed to clear out one of the shelves, and here I'm sort of swimming down just to explore how much more there is. There was a lot. If nothing else, I do have to say the area does look very pretty at night. Here you can also see that the inventory notifications do in fact go over 1000 pretty easily. I switched Instagib off here just to see how high I could get it, and it climbed well over 1500 if you're curious, but it didn't really feel like a great achievement, let me tell you that. Here you can see I'm working my way around one of the big bushes. Here was the test, seeing how long it would take me to slice down the giant bulb bush, and as you can see that took nearly 40 slices, which is certainly quite a bit. Here you can see another flyover of just how much there is. This entire area, obviously it's not loaded in, but this is all completely covered in bulb bushes. But yeah, I just kept on slicing. With the Instagib command, things were certainly progressing faster, since it was taking 1 slice instead of 3 for the smallest ones, but there was still a lot. Here you can see some progress underneath this big arch. You know, I was slowly but surely clearing it out. I actually remapped my left mouse button to be my scroll wheel just so that I can use the knife as fast as possible. I didn't have to keep that much of a rhythm going. Here's also something curious I realized. Ampules can actually destroy these on their own. I was trying to demonstrate it here, and as you can see, one disappeared right in front of my eyes. Here I've cleared the entire bottom portion, and I was now about to climb to the top and start working the bigger upper section. Here you can see another one of the giant bushes. I decided to leave these for the end and actually do them without Instagib, you know, just to sprinkle a little bit of extra suffering on top of this already painful challenge. Here you can see that this freakish biome extends all the way to the mushroom forest and the mountain island, just to kind of give you an idea of how big it is. But at least the slicing went pretty well. At this point, radiation arrived, because I'm still running the Death Run mod, which definitely made it even more pleasant, having this green-hued overlay over everything, but it is what it is. And I also found this interesting one, which was stuck inside a gold deposit. It was really tough to get to. I had to just kind of slice at its roots down here to actually get it to cut down. Here you can see me slicing the final small one on this upper platform. Now all that was left was the flat bottom part and a bunch of canyons. Here I was slicing bushes around the geyser and the crashed life pod in there. And at last, that section was all free. Then I cleared out the canyon, and this meant all of these small and medium-sized bulb bushes were done. The only thing that remained were the colossal ones. So here, why don't you enjoy some sped up footage of me slicing them down regularly with just the regular blade. This took 75 slices per bush, I believe, by the way. Really not fun. But alas, at the end, my friends, this was it. This is what the bulb zone would look like with no bulb bushes in there. They don't grow back as far as I can tell, and so in essence, if you did everything right, you could, as far as I understand, sort of lock yourself out of completing the game because you need this for the enzymes at the end of it. Now let's be real, anybody actually doing this is highly unlikely. Please don't try, it really isn't as fun as it might sound at first. The biome is larger than you think, and it took me, even with creative mode and the Instagib command, around 6 hours to do all of this. But yeah, I can definitely say the area looks quite weird now. And that's it today. What was the point of this challenge? I have no clue at all, but I still hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. With that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of today, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.